Very good afternoon.
Suresh.
Very sir, wonderful. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a great day.
From where you are getting this energy, sir?
I mean, right from 10 o'clock, meeting is continuing to go in Ministry of Environment, Forests, major projects. I just took permission for 15 minutes to come out and then join back again. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Puneet. I'm from Indian Green Building Council. I'm welcoming to all of you in one of the most unique 2 days webinar series on the sustainable built environment by CII-IGBC. Now, the name of the series is the Walking the Talks of the Green, as the name suggested. Today, we are having some of the green stalwart who are been having motivated the large number of stakeholders for adoption of a green building and the sustainable development. They have also set the benchmark by their own deeds. They are here to share their experience in the field of sustainability. This is a part of a Green Building Congress, and we are also having the India's largest green exhibition, which would be running till 27th of November, where you can have an access of more than 300 plus green products. Now, without taking much time, let me welcome Mr. V. Suresh. It has always been an honor to introduce Mr. V. Suresh with the audience. Mr. V. Suresh is having experience of more than 54 years in the built environment. He is the former CMD HUDCO, Vice Chairman of National Building Code, and there are many more stars which has been added in his kitty. Without taking much of the time, I'm requesting Mr. V. Suresh to initiate the program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Puneet. A very happy good evening. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And such a great pleasure to welcome my colleagues, Syed Beri Saab, Mala Singh ji, Vijay Saab, Sai Meka ji, and Purva Keskar ji. They're all my strong arms with which we are all working in the Green Building Council. If anything is happening in the Green Building Council, it is these wonderful people who are going to share their own experience now, what they have done. They are strong stalwarts in their own way, and I'm very happy that this unique session is being done specifically in the context of the Green Building Congress post-event, of primarily to see how stalwarts are looking at the whole issue of walking the talk. We get a large amount of people talking about green, kya karna, kya nahi karna, but not many of them have really actually done that particular thing in the actual field situation. And therefore, each one of them that you're going to hear now would indicate in their own little way how they've been able to take the message forward in a very large way. And not only leadership in the green building movement, also given as Beri Saab himself, not only as an outstanding educationist with the education institution, not only in schooling, but also in the professional engineering and architecture courses, as well as development of a very large nature of buildings of all asset classes, right from the residences to the offices to the data centers, which are all very difficult areas of projects to be done. And each one of them, the highest notches of excellence, he has been able to achieve that. And also imbibing this to the next generation of the students through their architecture schools and colleges. And Beri Saab is also leading the chair for the Bangalore chapter in a very large way. And therefore, if we are going to have, Beri Saab would be talking actually in respect of some of the very interesting initiatives of high performance buildings. Very important. And therefore, these are areas where energy saving, water saving, carbon footprint reduction, waste management efficiency, all of them come in a very large way. And therefore, that'll be one leaf of the today evening's great initiative. And like that, we are going to get Malaji talking about being the co-chair for the Mumbai chapter. Phenomenal amount of the buildings that they have done, not only for the government sector, in the public sector, in the private sector, the large number of building initiatives that has been done. And I do not know the number of platinum she has got under her wings over there, but more importantly, a wonderful consultancy group which can give set trends in this particular area. And more importantly, also working very closely with the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change and the type of guidelines and rating issues, and also the policy documents from the government side in respect of the green incentives and other related work. Her role has been phenomenal in all the area. I'm sure in addition to that, she is also chair for the Green Residential Societies, along with Beri Saab. I forgot to make a mention of that. I should have done that a little earlier, but I'm very happy that, and there are a large number of schemes under that particular category also, which is come, and I'm sure we'll be getting from Malaji some of the particular initiatives on the projects which are not only totally green compliant, but an assets, sustainable development is one of the major areas into which she has been working very, very closely. And you will see that in some of the projects in a large way. And on the eastern side, from Vijayawada, the whole new capital of Andhra Pradesh, you have Vijay Sai Meka, who has done the Amravati city, also a platinum rated building, one of the greenfield project there, plus large number of initiatives on the residential and other related component done from his side. And you will be able to see most important, his message is developing living buildings is a concept that he has brought it in a large way. I'm sure you'll be able to hear more about that from him. And then Purva Keskarji from Pune, also co-chair for the Pune chapter. And in addition to whatever brilliant work that has been done in Pune and in Maharashtra, Pune in particular and Maharashtra in general, and more importantly went on to the famous New Calcutta city, the platinum rated city that they got, is one of the biggest feather on her cap, and she's a wonderful initiative done, and sustainable projects for especially not only buildings to the built environment. I think she has really graduated from the buildings to the built environment in a large way, and that has already made very, very good impact already in our particular segment there. So I'm glad that this is a wonderful thought process that's been done to get the top people from our own group there, who are leaders in their own way, stalwarts, who are dedicated their work and know about all issues on the sustainability issue, all issues on the green building component, green built environment component, and all the interrelated issues that comes over there in terms of buildings and services, materials and other related component, and started putting into that into a large number of live projects. And it's a very interesting day because today we also have the good news of going beyond 7.61. We are now 7.71 billion square feet. We are adding very well. We are coming pretty close to possibly the 8 billion crossing mark in the next about 2-3 months time. And therefore, all these new rating systems also helped in a very large way in the context of we are now 28 rating systems which are available, including the issues in respect of not only the version 2 for the sector for healthcare sector, plus also the net zero water, and also more importantly the issues on logistics parks and warehouses over there. Today I've just come out of the meeting right from morning from the environmental impact assessment meeting of the Government of India large projects. Many projects are under this category on logistics parks and warehouses have come up today also for the meeting for approval. So we have got large number of all project details are available in the sense that all categories are covered there, not only the building side in all asset classes, but also in the built environment sector, what is required, and on the urban mobility side is yet another list of schemes that we have. Our township and the related one is again gaining phenomenal amount of momentum also in a large way. And I'm therefore happy that we are having this segment today, and tomorrow another 4 stalwarts will be speaking. Dear colleague Gurmeet will be chairing tomorrow's session, and therefore between today and tomorrow we have eight stalwarts speaking on their own particular contribution in the sector, and we should hear them uninterrupted. 15 minutes each of them will be talking on what is that they have done, and towards the end we'll have some closing discussions of the over there. Puneet will be driving the initial one, and I'm very happy that we have a very distinguished participants also in this particular list in terms of participating in the event in a very large way, and in our overall thrust that we have in spite of the COVID situation over the last 8 months time period. Substantial amount of operations have come with a very successful Green Building Congress also done very successfully. 4,300 participants, about 80 speakers, and around 18 technical sessions, details of which you have seen. And as Puneet has said, we got the exhibition also done very successful in nearly 1 month. It'll go on from 28th of October to 27th of November. Please have a look. I understand even now around 100 to 150 people are visiting on each day based on the clicks that we are able to see. That shows a very good sign. It's been able to last it well. Normally, even during the conference, many people find it difficult. But here is what we have been able to do, a success on that. So you should also see how best you'll be able to see that exhibition also will give an opportunity. I shouldn't be speaking much today at all because this is a day for my stalwarts to speak. But more importantly, IGBC as an organization has emerged very well. 125 years of CII, 20 years of IGBC, and roughly about 93.2% of the green footprint in the country. 7.71 billion square feet is not a small amount coming in this category there. And we are all working towards the 10 billion mark by 2022. August 15th, by the time the independence flag will be there on that day, we'll be crossing that limit positively. Now we got to all think in terms of, as I keep on telling now, although it's a done thing, it's going to happen. Now, what do we do now? We are in 2020 ending. Can we think of a decade component of 2020, 2030? Because that's when India's urbanization will have around 600 million or 60 crores urban population will be there by 2030 what we are. So you'll find IGBC will have phenomenal amount of opportunity than what we have done. Whatever things we have done in this 20 years time period, the next 10 years for a particular one is going to be an equally important challenging area. And it's catching up very well. Building bylaws are already recognizing that. Incentives are already started coming from various sides. You must have just seen many of the people sharing good experience on those particular aspects which our own groups have shared with that. So therefore, all I want is phenomenal amount of opportunities are there. And I'm sure the green building movement for sustainable development will catch up in a very big way. And I want to give all my best wishes to Syed Beri Saab, Mala Singh ji, Vijay Sai Meka ji, as well as Purva Keskar ji. I should call her Professor Purva Keskar ji. And I'm sure eagerly looking forward to that wonderful presentation. And I'll join at the end again when all the presentation is over in the Q&A session once again. Thank you once again, Puneet, for calling me over. Without losing any further time, give them the time, 15 minutes time for each of them to make the presentation, okay? So that the best ideas come out from their side, okay?
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's such an inspirational start of the day, of the particular session. Now, without, as you mentioned, sir, without taking much of the time, let me, invite Mr. Syed Muhammad Beri, and a person who's working tirelessly to fulfill his dreams, to make India fully literate, housing affordable, and above all, build India truly green. Over to Mr. Beri, please.
Good evening, friends. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
very
sir.
audible.
Yeah.
Very audible, sir.
Good evening, Suresh ji.
Why don't we get on the big screen?
Yeah.
Beri Saab should come on the big screen. Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, so good evening, Suresh ji. Good evening, Mala, Vijay Saikam, Purva Keskar, and all the participants. Thank you very much, for giving me this opportunity. It is an honor to showcase whatever little we have done. I'm not saying that we are the stalwarts or a crusader or something like that. God has given us an opportunity. Opportunity brings the responsibility, and with that responsible feeling, we have done little bit what best we could. Friends, green is not something new to us. Green is something, it has come through my birth. Without knowing what is green building, without knowing what is sustainability, the rating system, and carbon credit and, GHG emission, etc. From the inception, all our projects are green compliant. We have ensured that, to best of our ability, we never cut the tree, we never change the contour. We always worked, nature-centric. Our design is always nature-centric. For that reason, you will not find any similarity in any of our building. Because when you do any building, nature-centric, it has to go with the nature. So naturally, the standard chapa, you will not find. Anyway, let me share my small presentation. This one, no? Yeah, it's going to come. Yeah. So walking the talk of green, this is our vision statement. We say God in his infinite mercy created man as the highest form of creation, provided us with everything we need for our sustenance and well-being. The entire universe, all the physics of the cosmos, the splendid earth, the abundance of nature were created for the benefit of man. Inspired by this, we at Beri's Group strive to utilize these bounties to create marks of excellence in all our endeavors. Let me start with the, few of the selected projects we have done, in this last 4 decades. To start with, our first project, we call it as a Beri's first, Mangalore's best. It is called His Grace. As a maiden venture, nobody will go for such a mega venture. It is a 4,63,000 square foot we built in 1993. And the beauty of this project is it is in Mangalore on top of the hill. So Mangalore, as you know, it is a hot and humid climate. So one of the major challenge for us, how to make it, how to take the, advantage of the, wind. So our architect, N.M. Salim, he captured the wind in such a manner that even in the hot summer, we close our windows because otherwise the breeze is so much. That one design element has got 100% mark. Then being on top of the contour, where the variables of almost 12 meters, we didn't flatten it. If you see the building, the way the building is ascending, we designed the building in the same manner. And then, we have taken, being a Mangalore is a, high density of rain, so we made 45 degree. This is how we build our first project. Coming to our first project in Bangalore, this is the project we got with a sanction plan to build 147,000 square foot. But when we went to the site and we realized that most of the trees has to be cut. So for that reason, we redesigned the building, identifying the trees everywhere, and in the bargain, we lost 17,000 FSI. I don't think ever you have heard about developer losing FSI. But today, when the green cover is depleting everywhere, in Orchard Green, it is increasing. This is a project we built in 2000. It is a contemporary design building, 100 units, 40 designs, and 4 coveted awards, including Indian Institute of Architecture Award. Here, what we did, the focus is onto privacy, daylight, cross ventilation. So that is our harmony at home. This is the project we built for a French company called Hydro Building System. The brief with us was to cut all the trees. And for information, we never cut the tree, I already told you, mainly the Kalpa Vraksha, the coconut tree, and see how retaining all the tree, how it has come out. And we have ensured that there is no glazed area is open to sky. It is all covered by virtue of overhang or by virtue of by virtue of solar panels. This is a project. This is going to be our own corporate office. Building is ready now, and this we want to make it as a net zero. The whole project is going to be run by solar energy. For which, what we did first, we reduced the design wise. We reduced the power requirement, and which was supposed to be 145 kilowatts, we brought it down to 64 kilowatts. And now we are trying to make good of the entire power requirement through solar energy. This is the project, very enchanting project, and this is the project got FIAPSI Pitch the Excellence Award way back in 2010. And here, the entire 2 lakh square foot of, little less than 2 lakh square foot of the basement, there is no artificial light. It is all natural light, and here again, the cross ventilation, the way we have captured the light and the wind is amazing. This is our main campus, educational campus. As Sureshji mentioned, we work with the EEE. There's entrepreneurship, environment, and education, and we take all the 3 together. So this is our campus where we have Barry's Institute of Technology. It's an engineering college. Barry's Enviro Architecture Design School, which is a architecture school, and BIT Polytechnic. This is in Mangalore, next to the Mangalore University. It is all hills and valleys. So we have taken one hilltop, and it's an amazing location. Like you are in the mother's lap. It is like that. And this is also the first green campus in southern India. That is how we have designed the building. What we have done here, the east and west, we gone for a double skin wall, and we have taken the complete north light, and we have positioned the restroom, the toilets and everything at the southern side. So by virtue of the sun path, that kills the bacteria. And in an engineering college, you'll always talk about technology and advancement, but we say purity of heart, clarity of mind. So we want to give a different dimension to the education field. And here, every boy and a girl, before taking an admission, they must plant a sapling. And the next 4 to 5 years, they must take care of that sapling, and we name after them. And this is again a very unique arena of us. In this, there is no drip irrigation system from the top. We made under-deck drip irrigation. In the bargain, 30,000 liter per day requirement has reduced to just 3,000 liter. That is the greatest advantage. We achieved that accomplishment. This is our institute in Kundapur, Kodi. It's a small, tiny village in the west coast of Karnataka, about 30 kilometers north of Manipal. And here again, if you watch, this is perhaps the only campus which is seafront. Otherwise you will get education campus in, in the mountain and the riverfront and other areas, but not in the seafront. So it is a beach road, and next to that is a beach. And here again, if you notice, see the trees, the coconut trees have gone through the building. So we never cut the tree. So when the children ask that everywhere they don't see tree within the building, so when they ask the teacher, then teacher is going to explain to them that the prominence of the nature, how we need to protect and safeguard. This is a data center, again, a very high profile project. We build from the design to completion in 12 months time, just 12 months time. And this is also the IGBC Platinum rated data center. And the certification of IGBC also helped us a great deal in ensuring that the end product is ready in the beginning itself. It is not that you are midway through, then you think of what should be the facade, what should be the lighting, how to take care of the landscape and, rainwater harvesting and etc. Everything has been thought of day one. So it has helped us in completing 3 lakh square foot in 12 months time. I mean, like a record of a sort. This is a very unique building. It is something very, very close to us because we don't, honestly, we don't deserve this. We built this mosque in our village. It is like a breathing building. The entire building is like a breathing building. So we use the, jali work, which is a part of Islamic architecture. But if you see the mosque, you don't see the typical domes and minarets and things like that. It is very, very contemporary, futuristic, and inside it is all open. So that in the hot, humid climate, being a coastal village, you don't feel anything of that sort once you enter inside. And this also got the first platinum certification from IGBC for place of worship. In fact, at that time, I remember our great leader, Dr. Premsi Jain, when he came to know about this mosque, they have invented the award for a place of worship, to facilitate, to honor this mosque development. This is the various data center we are building in Mumbai and Chennai and Bangalore and other area. If you notice, every building is distinctly different. Is someplace if you find louvers, because that is either west facing or south facing. Where there is no louver, you can be rest assured that it is not south or west facing. It is rather north facing. So that is how we design the envelope of the building. This is one again unique thing. We are working on a terminal building. Because of the NDA, I can't tell you where it is. But the beauty of this building, this terminal building of an airport, upcoming airport, is like a bird soaring into the sky. That is a concept we designed, and this is going to be perhaps the only building where we don't require any, no artificial light, during the daytime. That is how we design and capture the daylight. This is one of the unique things, sir. Imagine, Saudi Arabia is, it's the birth of Islam, but when it comes to the green building, they contacted us. And we are working the first green building happening in Saudi Arabia with the complete Indian expertise. The design, the build, the MEP, the services, everything is from India. And the best part is, the envelope we have created in such a manner that takes care of half the problem. It reduces the heat gain. It ensures that there is no sand, dooms, will enter the building. And very contemporary, very modern, and the entire power requirement is from the solar renewable energy. And in a place where 50 plus centigrade is a heat, we are trying to work out with a passive HVAC system. And comes our project, which has given us a great deal of satisfaction and contentment. That is the India's first IGBC LEED Platinum certified research park, a 1.4 million square foot of a building, where we should have 6,500 kVA power to run the show. We are managing with just 2,000 kVA power. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. That is how the design, the positioning, that is how we're taking care of the sun path, the wind path. The southern side is all double skin wall. Northern side, we are taking the natural daylight. So we get almost 90% natural daylight and 100% view to the outside. Then a lot of various value engineering we brought in here, including now 81% of our power is all renewable energy. Our idea is to go in for 100%, and we are striving for that. Yeah. See, this is our main entry foyer, visitors lounge, 32 meter by 32 meter single column, and this design alone, we got 4 international awards, including IEA award from USA. And this got various other, unique feature, such as 84% floor efficiency, 74% energy efficiency, and what is that? It is a zero discharge building. All that helps 46% reduction in the operating cost month on month. Finally, my friend, you heard about and read about the vision, and this is our mission. We say create projects that are architecturally significant. Same time, it should be functionally good, functionally sound, environmentally conscious, and offering highest value for investment. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And Puneet, I kept my promise. I'm exactly at 15 minutes, 11 seconds.
Thank you very much. And more than the time, sir, it is such an inspirational and the variety of projects you've been doing. And it's really great to know that the projects, the mosque project especially, which has been coming up in the Arab countries, is also been adding the gem to the Indian
incidentally,
Indian excellence, sir.
Puneet, incidentally, we are going to get IGBC rating for that mosque.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And moving forward, I request everyone to please type the questions related to the presentation in the Q&A section, and post all the sessions. We would take the selective questions to directly shoot to the presenters. Now, it is my pleasure to invite Mala. Mala is intent to transform all buildings, organizations, facilities into the green, healthy and sustainable communities. She is also recognized as one of the top 50 green leaders in 2017. Would request Mala to take the forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Puneet. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And good evening, my dear friends. First of all, I would like to thank Syed Bariji for such a wonderful presentation. Sir, you are the inspiration for rest of the developers of country. So hats off to you. So you have given me a very big challenge now for my presentation. Yes, but definitely because you talk about new buildings, I'm going to talk on existing buildings. So the topic is little different, but I will also try to put my own way how I can encourage the people. So I would like to share my screen. Yeah. So is my screen is visible?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, you can see it in the full screen now.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. I'll put it in the full screen. Yes. So thank you very much, all of the audience who's listening to us from this platform. So walking the talks of green, for me, it also means that action speaks more louder than words. So I think once we talk green, but when we walk with the green, that's very important for making sustainable communities. So friends, if you see that, the sector-wise global CO2 emission now and the global warming and climate change we are talking, so you will be surprised that building operations itself 28% responsible for this CO2 emission. And also materials and construction, that is 11% responsible. So now imagine the existing buildings, which is existing building environment in our country, even on the planet, how important it is for all of us to transform into sustainable buildings and sustainable communities. Even recently, you all know that India is the only G20 nation where we have signed this Paris Agreement for the 2 degrees centigrade reduction in the temperature. So I think this is the time for everyone to contribute, as Syed Berry Saab is already contributing. So I think in my presentation, I'm going to present a case study of a corporate building where I'm going to show you the methodology we adopted, and also I'm going to present what we get at the end after all the initiative we took from the auditing process in the starting, and how we implemented all the actions on ground, and how we look into the ROI of that particular project. But before that, I also would like to share some of the fact sheets with you, where you can see that overview of energy sector in India. If you see by 2019, the total electricity generation from the conventional sources is too high. But definitely in the renewable energy, we are doing quite, I would say, very good progress. We are doing under our solar energy mission. Even if you look into the other resource aspects of globally as well as in India, so you will see that we are already facing stress in water quality, as well as there are a lot of water stress areas in India itself. And also, I would like to also share that the waste generation which we have in India, 50% of our waste is biodegradable by nature. So we have a huge opportunity to convert that waste into a resource in the existing buildings. So friends, now I'm coming to the point, because when you develop a new building, you can do it without some challenges, because design is in your hand. Decision makers can take all the decisions in the planning itself to make it a sustainable design, to look into the green purchase mechanism, and they can also look into the construction practices efficiently. But what happens when it is an existing building? It is a very, very challenging task. Because the challenges we face in the existing building and converting it into the green, I would love to share with you. The first thing is the cost. Because you know, the first question always comes in the decision maker's mind, the cost of the retrofitting activities, how much is the capex, how much is the opex. So all these aspects comes in the mind immediately when you talk about retrofitting of existing building and converting that into green. And also the mindset of decision makers, because we can't find all the people like Syed Berry ji. Still we have the people who have conventional approach. So we also require, there is a lot of lack of knowledge and expertise and skill, because our facility teams, if they don't understand the operational efficiency in the existing building, so still we are facing the challenges. So how to convert those buildings into green? But what happened when we apply this methodology, starting from the green audits? So we need to establish our baselines. Suppose there is a corporate building. First, we start with the green audits, where we understand our baselines, our energy consumption, our water consumption, waste consumption, and also we look into the indoor environmental quality aspects. Now I'm taking you through my case study. So this is my case study. This is the State Bank of India Bhavan, which is located in Nariman Point in Mumbai. And this is the largest corporate area in Mumbai, as all of you know that. The most interesting part is this building it was constructed in 1971. So now you imagine the age of the building. The age of building, almost 49 years old building. So now you imagine the journey of retrofitting, what kind of challenges it faced, and what actually we achieve at the end. So I'm going to share with you all that. So friends, we have here 2 basements and 21 floors. And this building has more than 15% landscape areas. So these are some of the glimpses. You can see how the building surroundings look like. There's a lot of green area, green spaces you can see around the building. And this is the inside the premises. You can see that. This is, you can see a lot of vertical gardens. This is health amenities, which is a part of this corporate office to look into health and well-being of the people. Now coming to the point when we approach this particular customer, which is itself is a very prestigious customer, and encourage them to go ahead with the operation and maintenance rating of IGBC. So they just called us because there are sustainability reporting commitments to reduce carbon emissions. So we thought that why not to use IGBC tool to reduce the energy performance index and also to preserve and conserve the resources by applying this O&M rating of IGBC. So let me tell you what we have done. There's a lot of improvisations were done in the project. So here is a huge list. We do a lot of improvisation in the landscape design. We added vertical gardens, organic farming, and water efficient landscape practices we started. Then high SRI materials were used for roof and non-roof. Aerators, because when we do the water audit, we realized that the flow rate was very high. So we put the aerators in the entire project. All the fixtures, when we tested after putting aerator, we found 40 to 45% water saving. And there was a sewage treatment plant which was 49 years old. So imagine the kind of, the performance we were getting from that system, the energy, the intensive energy it was using. So the revamping of this STP was also done to improve the efficiency as well as to improve the quality of treated water, because the entire treated water was used for the chillers in this particular project. Then water meters were installed, then on-site centralized waste management and OWC provision was done. And not only that, I'll tell you, because putting technology is not sufficient. So here, the kind of facilitation when we did, we also guided them to do the quantification of the resources. So they started resource mapping. So they started that monthly generation of waste, monthly generation of wastewater. So everything was planned in such a way so that you can map your resources. So then you understand your objectives to achieve. So friends, these were some of the photographs of entire initiatives which were considered in this project improvisation process. You can see the 30 kilowatt solar panel was done, 100% LED light was changed, and the HVAC, the chillers were also changed, and even the lifts were also changed. Now I will show you in next slides how we did in phase wise. This is also some of the sustainability features. So I would not talk too much because my rest of the slides are quite interesting. This is the award we got in 2018 that was silver rated. Because our EPI was from 200, we reduced it up to 190 because we could not do what was expected that time because it was a continuous improvement in the process. Building is huge. Energy consumption was very high. Water consumption was very high. Then again, we reapplied in this building itself for the upgradation of the rating, and we got gold rating here. So we added some sustainability features like rainwater harvesting. We again did a lot of revamping in some existing equipments, and we received a lot of saving from that. So this is the gold rating we received in the upgradation process. Now I'll tell you when we did the retrofitting journey of our Bhavan, in the first phase, we did replacement of old lifts to the energy efficient lifts. All the lighting fixtures were changed. 30 kilowatt solar system was installed, and the cooling tower of HVAC system to energy efficient one was replaced. This was the second phase initiative where all the components of STP were revamped, and even the basically sand filter was also added in that. And all the signboards were changed into LED by SBI. And you can see that motion sensors in the premises, in various cabins of offices, it was also installed. Basically, it was not only technology, but a lot of schedule changes, in the operational efficiency. There were a lot of small do's and don't were done in this building to achieve energy efficiency. So now this is very interesting slide. You can see that total amount spent was 8 crore 43 lakhs 38,400. So I'm sharing with this very very specific figure, which was used for the retrofitting in this entire existing building in 2 phases to cut down the energy consumption. So you can see how we did it. In 16-17, the 80% cost was done in the lifts. Then 2.65% is what done for, like, roughly 22 lakhs was spent on the solar system. Then in 17-18, LED lights were changed. Then again, some cooling tower replacement was done in 18. Then in 19, small changes were done. So the total cost, the recurring cost in the entire retrofitting process was 8 crore 43 lakhs, when our electricity bill in 2015-16 was 90 lakh per month. That means 10 crore 80 lakh annually in 2015-16. Now I'll show you very interesting things. From 2015, when the bill was 90 lakh rupees per month, now we have come to 55 lakh rupees per month. So imagine the kind of saving we achieved through this entire journey. You can see the 40% saving directly by taking all these measures in this building. So this is, you can see the month-wise saving. There's a lot of statistics which we have derived in this particular project. And here is a very interesting part. This is the ROI analysis, because this is very interesting for the people who wants to know whether what we spend, but what we achieve. That is also very important for the people. You can see that from 16 onwards, in first year, we did the recovery of 19% from this 8 crore amount. Then next year, 39%. Next year, 45%. So I would say less than 3 years, we recovered this entire cost in the energy cost saving, which is a huge, I would say, achievement in the project itself for such a large corporate office and inspiration for others. Now I'm coming to the CO2 emission reduction, because finally, when it is a corporate, because they have a GRI initiative reporting responsibility also, they have a sustainability reporting API indicator as well, where they have some commitment to reduce the carbon footprint. So how this entire making this building green journey has shown us the insight. You can see the 10 crore 80 lakh rupees, which they used to spend in 2015-16 with the units of electricity in kWh, you can see 83 lakhs. We were able to CO2 emission was 6,812. Now it is 4,163. So that means CO2 emission reduction in this due course of the years, 4 years, that is 2,649.23 tons, which itself is a big achievement, because this is what the corporates, they also want, to fulfill their sustainability commitment. So based on this performance, we also received the award for this particular project from IGBC in the Green Building Congress Performance Challenge Award. This is the Excellence Award certificate for the said project. So this is what I think I think 15 minutes over, Puneet, or still time is there? Is done?
Yes.
Okay, I think I can recover if any questions are there at the end. So I can, clarify more with respect to initiative in this project.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Ms. Mala. Thank you very much. And what a great note you have mentioned, that even a building which has been old as so close to 50 years is also being converted and then perform as good as a new building. Thank you very much for such an inspirational and a detailed thought on the building project. Let me have a pleasure to introduce next speaker, Mr. Vijay Sai Meka, who has been inspiring many stakeholders, including government officials, for the adoption of a green concepts. He is also involved in improving the education in the government school. Mr. Vijay Sai Meka, please. Mr. Meka?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. So you are audible, sir.
Yeah. Just power went off and came.
Sir, we are waiting to hear from you, sir.
Yeah. You can start.
Sure, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It's a wonderful evening, and you heard actually the inspiring words of Mr. Suresh ji, who is actually leading from the front uh, after the demise of our leader, Prem Si Jain. So he is the one actually who is working hard for the IGBC. Whatever we are today is because of him. This is not my slide, Puneet. Yeah, next slide. See, if you this is a project completed in Hyderabad called Green Grace. Our company name is S&S Green Projects. We have named our company also as Green because actually we are since inception of the company we are following the concepts of green building in all our projects. If you see the floor plan, so we have given a big opening at the entrance. So that is actually facing south. That is for the air to pass actually through the corridor and then spread to all the apartments. So from the design itself, we have taken care for the passage of air for all the apartments. And in between apartments also, we are not blocked any area so that the air easily flow between the apartments. Also, there is a cross ventilation concept in the project. This is actually designed to necessitate cooling of the towers in between also, because if the air flows, the hot wire inside will come out. So effectively, the total inside temperature will come down in the project. So from the concept stage, we took care of actually lighting and ventilation in this project. Next. So if you see, this is the layout of the building. Even between two towers also, we have created a vent in the beginning and opened up at the end so that more and more air will pass even between the towers also. In the tower and in between tower, in everywhere, between all the apartments. So everywhere there is easy flow of air. So it is not a concrete jungle. So project name also Green Grace. So that is actually gracefully you can live there in a green environment. Next slide. So these are the 3 blocks. Total land area is 6 acres, 420 apartments, all 3-bedroom apartments. The name of the projects also we are named as Avani, Aish and Aurora, that is Earth, Health and Light. So all these elements were taken care in our project. That is why all our projects are called as 4-point homes, that is air, light, water and health. See, if air, light and water are good, then actually health of the residents will automatically improve. Studies also prove that about 33% increase in health of the residents in certified green buildings will happen because of the all concepts of green buildings. Next. These are the some of the interior images of the model flat. So everywhere, though you have seen some lighting, if you see the sit out, there is an option to have the kitchen also, kitchen garden, so that you can actually grow your household vegetables there. And the sit out also is so big, so to give a feeling of comfort for the residents. See, if you are living 24 hours within the house, within the 4 walls, you feel actually bored. So we have created that ambience also in the sit out also. It is outside. It is not part of the building. It is extended portion. So it is a 360 degrees open is there in the sit out. So you have the luxury of spending life in the morning and evenings in the sit out. Next. So if you see, these are the huge corridors and huge sit outs. Our sit out itself is about 180 square feet. The corridors also, if you see, lighting is there everywhere. You don't need to have any artificial light during daytime. But of course, sometimes when there are heavy rains, there is water. But we were able to convince our residents to not to close these areas so that there is beautiful passage of air and light. This will give you a soothing relief whenever actually you are walking in the corridor. If it is actually small corridor, you will feel it congested. So here you will have that happy feeling of living in a better environment, better open spaces. Next. When we are actually conceiving the project, we identified the biggest problem is the water. Since this is about 420 apartments, about 1,200 people are going to stay here. So we thought actually whenever there is a serious shortage of water, the residents should be able not to worry too much during the critical 2 months summer season. Everywhere, I think the scarcity of the water will come in the hottest summer for everyone. And it is not easy to bring water from outside for about 400 flats at regular intervals. Even though you are able to procure the water with your influence, there is no guarantee of quality of water that is coming out from outside. So that is why actually we seriously thought about reducing its dependence on fresh water in the project. So one of the important thing we planned in these water meters. So every apartment will have a meter in each bathroom, and those are all electrically connected. So we can get the data digitally connected to our system, like electricity bill. We can also generate the water consumption of each resident. Otherwise, it is normally total water bill will be divided among all the residents. But here it is divided, it is not divided like that. It is billed as per your consumption. So this will bring actually about 20% reduction, because all the residents suddenly become judicious in their usage of water once they know that actually it is quantified, and if they reduce the usage, they will also save water. This is one measure. The second important one is, if you see the images below, those are all rainwater harvesting pits. Normally everybody will say rainwater harvesting pits, you pick a 6x6 pit, put gravel and sand in different sizes, in different different layers, and keep it open. But the problem is in Hyderabad, in some of the other places also this may be there, the terrain is different, each area is different. So when actually we studied this area, this is hard bottom soil, there is no water percolation. So then actually at that time we called Mr. Gopinath from Chennai. There is a Rainwater Foundation. We invited him and do water feasibility study. The first time any developer did a water feasibility study for his site, that we did here. So he studied the entire project and actually give us locations also for the rainwater harvesting pits. In this, he also studied the soil terrain. So he suggested to drill boreholes within the rainwater harvesting pits up to 200 to 300 feet, depending on the location. So that is actually even within the rainwater harvesting pit, we did a borewell of up to 200 to 300 feet, and up to 50, 80 feet, we also actually, in the middle image, inserted casing with holes all sides. So whenever water is going down, it will also go to the sides. And the other thing was, all these borewells, if you see, were interconnected. Suppose in the first rainwater harvesting pit, if the water is excess, it will actually flow to the next rainwater harvesting pit. Like that, we have connected all the rainwater harvesting pits. In case if there is excess from all the rainwater harvesting pits, we have constructed a 2 lakh liter rainwater collection tank in the project. So whenever there is a heavy downpour, once all these rainwater pits stops absorbing water, we will be able to collect the rainwater up to 2 lakh liters. And during rainy season, the residents actually with small filtration that we have not yet started, with small filtration, they can start using the rainwater collected for so many general applications. So once this is done, again during rainy season also, we can actually store the groundwater that is available in the project. So this also again reduces our dependency on usage of groundwater or usage of fresh water from the metro water supply. The third one we have incorporated in the project is we have constructed a STP to treat all the grey water that is coming out from the project, and using with the dual flush plumbing, using all the fresh water plus gardening, car washing, and then for the flushing of the tanks. We estimated if you use water, treated water for flushing and other aspects, it will reduce about 30% of freshwater consumption in the project. With all these measures, roughly we estimated about 40 to 50% of reduction in freshwater consumption in our project compared to this size any other project which is not having any of these measures. So this is very important going forward. We also found that water is going to be very scarce in the coming years. Next one. These are the usage of LED lights, and then the solar hot water system. See, if you see on the top image, the entire area is covered with the solar hot water panels. So this is having another advantage is because of the solar hot water panels, the apartment below also is not directly exposed. The terrace is not directly exposed to the sun. In a way, it is also protecting the terrace from direct sun heat. This is also what we did before actually installing the solar hot water panels. We observed the sun path, and then we also studied the shadow path. See, I think during evenings, if there were tanks and all, actually that shadow will come and fall onto this, and this will become ineffective. So we also studied those aspects, and we avoided placing solar hot water panels in those shadow areas. So effectively, all these measures will improve the efficiency of the solar hot water system. We observed that in Hyderabad, ours is the only project in multi-story. This is a 15 floor project. We are the only one which installed a solar hot water system and is working effectively for the benefit of residents. The next one. Yeah, this is maximum daylight utilization. In fact, this is, as I said, even 3050 square feet also, we have restricted as 3-bedroom, though there is an option to convert it into 4-bedroom as per the request of the members, but that will greatly reduce the daylight into the apartment. So that is why we actually made it a mandatory that all our apartments are only 3-bedroom apartments for having better daylight into the apartment. About 70 to 70% of the apartment will survive on daylight during daytime, and there is no need of artificial light. Next slide. Can you play this?
S&S Green Projects, makers of Hyderabad's iconic biodiversity pylon, bring you the luxury residence S&S Green Grace, 423 BHK apartments in 6 acres at Gachibowli, close to Oak Ridge and DPS, a platinum pre-certified green building, mini forest, clubhouse, pool, gym and every premium amenity. Call 90522 or visit ssgreenprojects.com.
Yeah, next slide.
S&S Green Projects, makers of S&S Green Projects, make.
So all our concepts, and this is the Hyderabad's first urban mini forest. If you heard, this is the first mini forest. It is catching up now with the collaboration of a forest. We did this first mini urban forest. Within the project, in 2-3 pockets of 1,000 square feet, we have created the first Hyderabad urban mini forest. It is grown now, it is 3 years old. So after 3 years, it doesn't need any maintenance and it becomes like a forest within the project. Next slides. So these are the images. We involved all the residents for plantation in this mini urban forest. So children, if they were involved in the activities like this at this age, so they will become our followers and warriors. Next slide. This is another image during the plantation. Next. So see the child, he is carrying 2 plants and he is actually taking care of those plants. Now he is a resident. Next. This is the group of children. Next. So this is, we also actually doing some, whenever there is actually Earth Hour, 2 years back, we did with the support of all the residents. Go to the next slide. So this is Earth Hour. These are all actually lights, candle lights in the form of Earth Hour. So we shut off the total power in the project. So with the involvement of all the residents, we were able to do this. So unless there is involvement, whatever we gave there actually will be of no use. Next slide. Next. So these are the some of the measures we mentioned in the project. Next. Yeah, these are the water meters. Next. So the effect of all these lower electricity bills and water bills. Next. The other one is we are the first in Hyderabad who introduced tree translocation in Hyderabad. Some of the plants were transported from about 20 kilometers distance. They are all survived. About 70% of them were survived in our project. The bottom left is the 40-year-old temple tree. That is a 40-year-old. We bought it from a government office when they are actually removing all this. The next one. Thanking you. And as a builder, when actually everybody will say green, green is also makes business sense. We were able to get the benefit of the branding of our project as certified green building. We were able to actually sell in a better rate than our compared neighboring projects. So I request most of you to follow these concepts from the conceptual stage. Then you will also have the advantage of following these concepts. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Vijay sir. And this is such a lovely presentation that what all great things you are doing, and then imbibing the right thoughts to the young minds, and so that they would also be responsible and taking care of the future generations. So great to hear. Let me now invite architect Purva Keskar, an architect, environment designer, quality manager, educator, passionate about the urban sustainability, to share her thoughts. Over to architect Purva.
Okay, you're able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well, very well.
Yes, thanks a lot, Puneet, for a very brief and a nice introduction. And it was really a pleasure to hear all the speakers before me who have been showing so many good projects which have contributed to the sustainability of the entire, not only that place, but the entire world. Even though it's a small drop in the ocean, I think such small drops add to a larger kind of impact. So thanks a lot. I'm sharing my screen now. Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yeah,
yes,
very well. Can you put on
Yes.
President? Correct. Done very well.
Thanks. Yeah. So today I'm just going to talk about strategizing implementation for green, and my earlier speakers have shown varied ways in which one can go about achieving sustainability. I'm sure that each one must have not only worked on the projects, but worked on the minds of the people who were involved in making these projects. And I think that is a greater impact. So I feel that strategizing is strategic thinking in a project is the most important thing that is going to have an larger impact in the futuristic way in which the projects are going to be designed. Because strategic thinking not only gives you a plan, but it allows you to have a vision to reach to that plan, and then probably looks at not only individual achievements, but also creates leaders for strategic thinking in the teams that you're working with. So when you have to, have a strategy for infusing sustainability, there are many aspects that you have to really think of. And I think that vision is the first important thing. Berry Saab has already told us that he doesn't understand the science of green. He never understood in the beginning. It was a mere passion and an understanding of Mother Earth and understanding of what people want and what one should really do to sustain oneself. He started working in the field of infusing sustainability in his projects. And I think that vision of his is the most important thing which has driven his project towards sustainability. The vision has not only given direction to the teams, consultant teams that he's working with, but also his entire other teams who are going to build the projects, and probably this is also going to get infused into the people who are going to operate and occupy those projects. So that's the first important thing as a strategy, which is to have a vision for sustainability. The second most important thing is then to get together, because each one has a different view. Right now we have looked at three different views of how people address sustainability, and there are many multiple viewpoints of sustainability. Like we all know that if we ask someone to define sustainability, it is an umbrella definition that comes into picture. We can't say that water sustainability is the only way to achieve sustainability, or energy efficiency is the only way to achieve sustainability. So design share or a share and brainstorming which needs to be done, where each one's viewpoint is respected. So showing respect to others is also one of the strategy to infuse sustainability in your projects. Then you can start looking into the resources. But without the first two things, I think you should not jump to the detailing of the projects. So water, energy and waste is what you start looking at, the site that you start looking at. And then over the period, you start, going into details and working towards things which will help you implement the sustainable vision that you have. Finally, when a person is going to live or occupy that building, he also needs to understand how to use the building. And there are examples where even though infrastructure has been designed in a green way, if it is not operated and occupied and used in a green way, the entire effort of infusing sustainability at the design stage goes down the drain. So educating the occupants is a very important aspect of this strategy to infuse sustainability. Finally, monitoring. These practices has to be done, because without which you will not be able to have a future sustainable world to live in. And we need recognition, and what a platform that IGBC has given us to have this kind of recognition, because IGBC have always understood that there are different kinds of projects which need different rating systems, and if these are addressed in a very unique way, then there is a possibility that small detailed requirements or measures which are unique to that kind of a project are not missed in the rating system. And therefore, getting a recognition by IGBC is one of the highest recognitions one can get in India for any kind of green building. So the strategy should also include this aspiration of going and having a third party kind of an recognition. So when we start, there is a big inspiration from IGBC, because I remember that when deliberations and brainstorming was happening at IGBC, one started getting inspired from the Indian ethos, which was these Pancha Mahabhuta. And then you suddenly start getting inspired by this kind of framework which has been given by IGBC to you. And then each one of the team members starts writing down what can happen in that unique project, which is then put up on a board. Like you start connecting these dots, the thoughts from an individual then now start becoming a part of the network that you want to achieve, because without a network understanding, you will not achieve sustainability if you think in silos. So that is exactly what one needs to do. Now I'm going to come to a very simple case study, which is one of the projects implemented by the co-chair of Nasik chapter. And his name is Mr. Kiran Chavan. He's a developer, and I was just helping him make his project sustainable. So this is Grape County, Nasik, and you'll find that it is a very low-lying kind of an convention center with 8 resort rooms. You'll find that after construction, most of the material which was used was sourced from the place, the greenery and the biodiversity, the way the lay of the land was also taken into consideration. So when we started working with the project, the first thing was to identify the vision and the goals. So for this project, the strategic goals were improve the biodiversity, try and reach net zero water, and try and reach net zero energy. So when you start looking at the project, you'll find that there is a nice kind of valley which is created because of the lay of the land, and there is a possibility of gathering a lot of water down the stream where the resort project land extends. Now this water, which can be collected, not only can be used as a utility, but also gives a very nice view, a respite to the people who come here and stay in the resort rooms. So it had a multifold function. So it was not only for utility, but also for other functions that this was really thought of. The placement of the buildings also you'll find are not very regular or in a grid. They actually take the shape of the land. Also, the construction wherever possible was lifted from the ground using steel construction, and the rooms of the resort are almost hanging from the earth outside like a tree, stretching out from the tree onto the valley, allowing the water to move below it. So sustainability goals, when we started looking at, we said, let's start treating the site as a dynamic pool of resource, not as a static one, but one has to understand that the changes that you make to that site is also going to come back to you. And then you have to think of what is remaining and what you can enrich. Also, the architectural form needs to respect, and we have to create comfort and delight for the people who are going to occupy the space. Of course, the profits cannot be ignored because that is an economic aspect of sustainability. So here we made a man-made water reservoir, and outcome of this was that the wells in the nearby villages also started getting good amount of water in the wells which were dry throughout the year. Not only this reservoir improved the water level of the nearby villages, wells in the villages, but also served as a water for irrigation for those villages and the agriculture in those villages. As a product of that, the project got a kind of an heartfelt letter from the Gram Panchayat, which said that because of this initiative that you have taken, it has helped us get water and almost 60 to 70 hectares of land under agriculture. So something which you do for the project, which is a very small resort, is going to affect the entire village and a lot of land beyond your imagination. So this is a project where, this kind of a thing was thought of. Reed-based sewage treatment plant, because then this would also help us improve the biodiversity and also help us treat the water and then leave the water wherever required or use the water if required. Now, if you know the hanging gardens, of Babylon, this reed garden is almost looking like that because it is placed on a sloping land and the terraces are formed so that the water treated from the first level then is taken to the second level, treated further, then taken to the third level. So there are 2-3 levels at which the water gets treated, and finally you get a water which can be reused. Also, the energy requirement was, tried to be met by renewable energy. Now, here there was a problem where we were trying to think of where do we put these, PV panels, and they didn't want it on the convention center because there were a few skylights coming in. There were a few, architectural features which needed to be highlighted on the roof. Therefore, finally, the parking area was, used for locating the PV, and almost a 30 kilowatt, kind of a plant was installed in this project. Now, the second project immediately I'm going to talk of is a very different kind of a project, and it is in the urban heart, it's a dense urban city area where you have a lot of industrial, development around it. And here you'll find that the plot is not too big, and it's a corporate, building of an industry called Enpro. It is a headquarters, and it's a very small 4,700 square meter kind of a project. Now here we couldn't really have the similar kind of approach. So now the goals had to be set differently. So what was the strategy for design? So first is, let's try to reduce, then let's try to rethink, and then regenerate. So now we were starting looking at, concentrating more on energy and how architectural design and the design thinking can, address these three areas to come to a sustainable solution. So in terms of reduction, we started looking at architectural design in terms of orientation, spatial planning, design for daylighting, envelope design or specifications, assembly for energy efficient envelope, and then of course appropriate use of materials. In rethinking, we felt that can we really rethink of the energy guzzler building energy system, which is the HVAC. We all know that almost 50 to 60% of the energy of a building is consumed by HVAC. So why not think of alternative systems? Why not think of mixed mode systems? And this is not a very regular practice. So why not try and put in 2-3 different systems appropriately? And of course, then look at system efficiencies and then probably regenerate. So when we were regenerating here, right in the beginning, we knew that in few of the projects, people don't want the PVs on their buildings, right? So here in the design itself, the PV was thought of in the first place, and you'll find that the form emerged because of the need of the PV being put up on the building, because there was no other space for that particular PV to be put on the building. So you find here that solar passive strategies, the plan was very simple, a square plan where typically we all know that on the west side, you have the service area where it acts as a buffer, and then you have central atrium, which can allow better kind of views and air circulation, for atrium for daylight and ventilation, good walls, in terms of thermal resistance, and of course, some low energy cooling systems. So these are the options which were worked out, and you will be surprised that the architect was ready to work out almost 10 options we worked out, where the Jali design also was considered. So when we generally gave her the Jali requirement, it was how much percentage of opening should be there in the Jali. Now the Jali can have any design in terms of the motives, but what is the percentage of opening so that enough daylight comes in and the heat is restricted? So such kind of, different alternatives were thought of. Also, at the same time, we were doing, energy simulations for many cases, and what is a sensible cooling which can be reduced, what is the solar gains from the external. And you'll find that the combination of clear DGU and Jali, the Jali which was put as a second skin, not for the entire envelope, but for certain areas of the envelope, reduce the cooling load to almost 12% and overall energy consumption by 7%. So here you'll find that the Jali was taken, and actually 7 to 8 different Jalis were simulated to understand what would be a better approach. So without sealing and with sealing. So this was a very important kind of an observation that we had, that with the there is a difference in illumination if you have furniture inside and the ceiling being modeled and then the daylight being calculated. We realized that the ceiling reflection almost 80% and furniture reflection was almost 55%, adding to the daylight inside the room. So we felt that next time when we simulate, we need to have all the interior elements being modeled and then the daylight being understood as to what is happening. Otherwise, it will turn into more light and therefore glare for the people. So now here, if you see the floors, you find that floors are being used for different purposes. On the ground floor, you have the badminton hall, reception and cafeteria. Then you have the reception experience zone. Then you have the cafeteria and auditorium, and then typical office floors. So here, 3 different types of cooling systems have been used. For open offices, we felt that evaporative cooling could work better. For badminton hall, reception area and cafeteria, we did the earth air tunnel. And for these cabins, wherever you had closed and closed spaces, we had an air-cooled VRV. So these strategies have helped in reducing almost 50% of the cooling energy demand compared to a conventional centralized air conditioning system. So this is a construction of the earth tunnel that we have done in Pune. and around 600 dia concrete pipes were used. So we didn't even use a material which was really very good for heat transfer, but even then we are getting good kind of results from having this kind of an ground cooling. So just to give you an overall idea, that we started with a standard EPI of 85 and we could reduce it to almost 47.49 kilowatt hours per meter square per year with all the things that we had done in terms of envelope, lighting and HVAC. Also, solar PV installation of 168 kilowatts on the roof was planned, and you'll find that when you look at the building, you will find that this PV is not jutting out or becoming a sore in the eye, because it was already considered in the form of the design. And of course, you have to keep on tracking the strategic goals. So we have an Excel sheet where we write the overall sustainability approach and vision, without which we don't go into green building certification, because green building certification will have certain important things to measure in detail. However, the overall approach and vision needs to be written down and monitored. So overall environmental value additions and sustainability goals have to be written. Then conceptual environmental analysis and conceptual environmental analysis for water also and waste also have to be monitored throughout the project, whether the vision has been achieved or not. So with that, we feel that the VKE impact has not only affected the project, but the strategic thinking of the teams that we have worked with, which we have worked almost in 12 cities with 450 projects and almost 3.5 million square feet of projects that we have done. So this impact, IGBC green buildings, we feel that we have been able to impact a good amount of residential projects, good amount of commercial, and the total energy savings of our impact is almost 94,000 megawatt hour per year. The carbon emission reduction is almost about 83,000 million tons per year, 20 lakh kiloliters of water saving per year, 10 to 15 lakh kiloliters of wastewater treatment, which is envisaged in the projects, and around 90,000 metric ton of organic waste being treated on site each year. So that is a kind of impact which one can do not only for the projects, but with the way people think. And if you are able to change that, I think that's the best thing that can happen. I'm really happy that with all this kind of work that we have been doing, IGBC did give us a recognition, and we got this Green Champion Award from IGBC just last year. And I'm really honored that this recognition came our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Poova. That was a very short and a crisp, thought-provoking presentation you have shared, that the sustainability is the responsibility for each one of us. So we have been running late a little bit, it's 10 odd minutes delayed. So we'll be taking selective questions from the audience. And the very first thing, the first question, I would request Mr. Berry to respond. There is a question which mentioned that that you have mentioned that you have lost some FSI due to save some trees. So any message you wishes to give to other developers, or how you have overcome to this loss of FSI? Mr. Berry, please.
Well, my friend, this project is the first of ours in Bangalore. So to have a head start, we bought this property with the sanction plan, and when with the sanction plan, when we went and saw the project site, then we realized that it is an orchard, and the trees are all there, mango trees, chiku trees, and various other trees. Then, the easiest way is what normally our great fellow developers are doing: chop off the tree with vengeance, which we cannot do. So we have to save the tree. So then, we got our architect and identified the trees, both the girth and the cover, and then redesigned the building in a manner that, no trees are cut, and except 3 trees has to replant it. So in the idea here is, had we got the only land, and if we are to develop, we would have taken care of by default. Because we got the sanction plan, we have to do these changes, and that is appreciated by the people. At one point of time, we had 11 nationality people are living there. including Azim Premji's both the son. Now the elder one is moved out, the younger one is still staying in Orchard Green. And there was a nice article has come in Times of India those days that the lucky ones live in an orchard. And this is also the word villament we coined for this. Orchard Green residential villament. So that is facility of an apartment, privacy of a villas. So it is a villament.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And the next question is to Ms. Mala Singh. We wanted to know that can all such old buildings like SBI Bhavan can be renovated? Is there any guidelines or is there any public awareness has been created for this?
Yes, yes. I was expecting this question from the audience. I'll tell you, Rome was not built in a day, but definitely, as I had shown in my slides, the operation and maintenance rating, which is developed by IGBC, because that is a guiding tool to tell customers that how to reduce energy, how to reduce water, how to minimize the waste, and how to take care of indoor environmental quality also. So I think you need always some sort of tool, as well as the decision makers. I would say their leadership role is also important here. And of course, awareness, because still I feel that we are talking about new green buildings, but existing buildings still need a lot of awareness. And we need the leaders like maybe they are corporate like SBI or who are already taking these decisions, so that it should, awareness should be at a large level to, I would say, reach the all kind of audiences, all kind of stakeholders. And let me tell you, it's not only for the commercial, Puneet. We have a GRS rating for existing residential societies also. So there is a way, there is a tool available at 5GBC, which is applicable to residential sector also.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Mala, very much.
Thank you.
The next question is for Mr. Vijay Sai Meka. It is actually a combination of two, that how cumbersome is the process to get the plants transported from a government site to a project. Mr. Vijay?
Yeah. See, if we plan from the conceptual stage, are you able to hear, Puneet?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you are able to conceptualize from the design stage, it's not a big issue, because the role of government in these aspects is very minimum. It is only the developers' commitment and passion, only that will create sustainable green buildings. In fact, most of the governments are encouraging these green building concepts, and they are also giving incentives. You need to have actually will, and your architect team and your team should work as a collective team effort, and then you can definitely come out with a beautiful green building without any big problem.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Meka. Mr. Berry, another questions for you. It says that in one of the project you mentioned the under-deck irrigation system or the underground irrigation system. What about the maintenance challenges and the cost?
Well,
Good question.
no really maintenance challenges as such, but the initial capital investment was more. This is in Mangalore, as I mentioned to you, in our campus, and that was the most neglected part of the campus. We made it as the most footfall area now. Whenever the students get free time, free period, they simply run over here. And here I must also tell you, this was a very undeveloped location, in that we have extracted more than 200,000, 2 lakh laterite stone. 2 lakh laterite stone we have extracted. That is one of the greatest advantage there. And we didn't bring any additional material from outside. As the laterite stone, when we cut it in a manner that the side is becoming a seating area, and that has been covered with the pergolas and etc. So everything is natural. So the major challenge there was the water requirement of 20,000 liters per day. I mean, which is crazy, right? So that is when we went for this underdeck watering system. And we do have some challenges sometime, in the initial days, but then all that teething trouble is more or less has got over now. It is pretty much working, and it is always green. And people are always wondering, even in the hot sun, how you are getting a green cover, without any nozzle coming out.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Berry. And Architect Purva, this is a question for you. As you mentioned, the 7 different roles to go green. That, in your opinion, which department is the most responsible to go green? And in continuation to this, that when to start the journey of green? Architect Purva.
Yes, so when to start the journey of green, I think it should be as a seed in your mind, which then can flourish when the time is right and when the environment is right. And it should be done right at the beginning of any project. Like I said, that the earlier the green is thought about, a holistic thinking can happen, and you will be able to not only make a better impact, but also have done this green in lesser costs. And which department, in the sense, if you're talking about corporate structuring, I think it should be as a vision by the directors themselves. And then, of course, each one will have a role to play. However, it has to be not only a top-down approach, but a bottoms-up approach in the implementation phase. But as a vision, it should be top-down.
Yeah, thank you, Architect Purva. Mr. Vijay, there is a question that you have done a lot on the water management in the project. Is there anything specific you have also done on the solid garbage waste management in your projects?
Definitely not so far, because we thought actually going for vermicompost, but I think there was some resistance from the residents. Now, luckily, they also recently came and approached us to start the vermicompost, because all these garbage is collected through a chute, so collection is very easy, and we can also easily segregate the dry and wet waste. So slowly we are starting that, and it is very easy nowadays.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And before we move to Mr. V. Suresh, Chairman IGBC, for the final words, I would request you to just share one message, a one-line message to the larger audience, how to start their journey, or to what extent they need to take the journey, starting with Mr. Berry. So you need to unmute, sir.
I can only say this much. Get connected to nature. Nature will never let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Mala?
Yeah, we need to transform existing built environment into green and sustainable.
Architect Purva? Ma'am, you need to unmute.
Try to align your behavior towards green and think green. That is enough to drive you towards implementation.
Mr. Vijay?
Believe, plan, follow with commitment the sustainability. That is the way forward.
Well, thank you, everyone. And this is a wonderful messages that we got at the end of the day. And before closing formally, I would request Mr. V. Suresh, Chairman IGBC, to do the closing words. And after that, I'll make a couple of announcements and formally we close. Mr. V. Suresh, sir.
Thank you, Puneet, and thank you. Wonderful address that we could. I could miss part of it from Berry's presentation, but remaining I saw because I went for the other meeting again. Wonderful presentations for each one of you, and the type of messages and Q&A that has come out has also been equally very good, and the type of link between connecting with nature and also think green throughout as a concept over there, and all existing to be converted to green, and do everything in a total framework from start to end through green, are all very right messages of sustainability being given by each of our distinguished speakers over there. Stalwarts, I continue to say, even though in all humility, Berry would like to say, no, not stalwarts, the way they have done fantastic area. I myself aware, as you just now you talked about the tree incident over there. When I went back after 4:15 of the inaugural, guess what? one of the important projects that came over there to the EIA was a project with about 1,000 trees over there. Proposal came with 300 trees to be cut. They said they'll do compensatory forestation for the 300 trees to be cut. But that's because they wanted the area for FSI to be done. And can you believe the strong views of the committee that was indicated there? With great difficulty, up to 100 was permitted because they knew that they are not the large one, diameter, girth, all those details are already identified there. So when I heard about what Saab has done of not permitting the tree to be cut, even if you lose a little FSI, it's a very powerful message that's gone across. And it's very interesting to see how these things will keep on coming at in various fora, and therefore respecting nature, be it the water issue or the waste management issue or the issues related to energy, which has come out so well. And I like the sustainability agenda component which Purva covered. That has not been receiving the attention because at the end of it, a little water management, little energy management, little waste management, and some of the things we covered during those parameters over there. But a larger concern for the sustainability at the end of the day would also help us to take it forward. Well, I'm so happy that I could be present towards not the latter part, latter 3/4 of the presentations there. So, as I said, I missed Barry's one. I'm going to see that particularly when you send the recording to me. I'm looking at that. So thank you very much to each of them for joining and making the evening as much good. And for all the participants also, it's a very good message that's gone across. And with each on the diverse, we didn't even decide who will talk what. And each of them picked up their own areas of examples. None of the things are really competing as there, but they are different facets of the particular thing. And that's all green is all about. There are so many facets of the sustainable development agenda. Each has got to be touched in the right way. And each of you did that exactly. And we want to thank you very much. We had the evening, and today is the day on which all of us should be happy. And I'm sure tomorrow, when 4 more of the doyens speak with Gurmeet over there, I'll be joining as an observer, as a participant to hear what's happening, to get the ideas. Once again, a big thanks to Beri Saab, Malaji, Mokaji, Vijay Mekaji, as well as Professor Purvaji. And so nice to hear all of them. And the good inputs that has come from the participants. Many have complained, though they have not been able to join. Many wanted to join. I was just watching. So tomorrow you should ensure that that particular complaint is not there. So therefore, please see the link is made available so that at least about 20 people have indicated they are not able to join. So that's a
we'll take care of that. Sir. Thank you.
That. So yes, I should say, because I've been continuously watching that. Okay. So circulate whatever has come, the whole tape, put it over there, and let everybody have a look at the particular, those who have missed it otherwise. Okay. And thank you very much once again. Thank you very much once again. And you did a good job, Puneet, by anchoring and moderating the session. It is good, equally good. Young minds able to get wonderful ideas also in this respect, and also asking the right questions on that. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you very much. And before we close, there are a couple of announcements which we'd like to make. So this has been the last chance for all the participants to visit the green building exhibitions, where you may visualize more than 400 green products, services, and the buildings which are on display. And the exhibition is up till day after tomorrow, 27th of November, 2020. Before we close, we would also like to thank our sponsors and the supporters for the Green Building Congress and exhibition, whose details have been there on your screen. With this, we would like to formally close the today's webinar, and we would look forward to all of you to join again tomorrow at the same time, 4 p.m. to listen more Green Stalwart. Thank you very much.
Will the same link will work, Puneet?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, Puneet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Surajji. Bye.
I enjoyed it. I could join when Mala's presentation was going.
Okay.
Mala, you have to speak tomorrow, or was it a change? Or the same order only, correct?
No, sir. No. I was supposed to speak tomorrow.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but Sandeep Shikre has requested me to come today.
Okay,
We
okay.
have some other things, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Well,
why I
I saw you and Neetu was coming tomorrow, and good that. Yeah, it was good. I saw your presentation. Good. It was good. Very
Yes.
good. Very good.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye, bye. Very
Bye,
good.
bye, sir. Bye,
You all
sir.
did very well. Very well.
Bye,
Good.
Poovaji. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.